case of Siam Lee is one of the most tragic and complex cases in South Africa, which completely shocked the public with its unexpected turn of events. Siam Lee was born in 1997 in Hong Kong, to Carmen Lee and Howard Greenspan. When Carmen was young, she moved to Hong Kong with dreams of becoming a dancer. However, when things didn't go as planned, she turned to working as an escort. During this time, she met Howard Greenspan, a wealthy South African businessman living in Hong Kong, who became a regular client. Their relationship eventually led to Carmen becoming pregnant. The two agreed that Howard would financially support the child by setting up a trust fund for education, but he would have no further involvement in the child's life. Carmen was happy with this arrangement. When Siam was 5 years old, she and her mother moved to Durban, South Africa. On January 4, 2005, Siam's father, Howard Greenspan, was found shot dead in his apartment at age 52. But the case was never solved, and details about the motive remain unclear. Siam attended Crawford College, an elite private school, with the help of a trust fund set up by her late father. Siam dreamed of becoming a teacher and traveling the world. During high school, Siam discovered that her mother worked as an escort. She kept this secret from her friends, fearing they would judge her and her mother. As Siam grew older, she adopted a free-spirited lifestyle like her mother's, rejecting societal norms and becoming more independent. After finishing high school, Siam discovered that the trust fund payments had stopped. She had expected the fund to cover her university education, but somehow it stopped after her high school. Without the necessary financial support, her plans to become a teacher were put on hold. To save for university, Siam took on various jobs, including waitressing and selling pool chemicals. In 2017, at the age of 20, Siam began working as a masseuse, offering private sensual massages along with her mother. She posted her services on an adult-only website. Siam Lee's mother stated that they worked together and that Siam only provided massages, nothing beyond that. One of Siam's clients was Philaani Ntuli, a 28-year-old businessman. One evening, the man booked Siam's dinner date services and arrived in a black Mercedes to pick her up from her home. They left around 10 p.m., and after spending time together, he dropped her back off. When Siam returned home, she appeared distressed and upset. According to her mother, she expressed that she never wanted to see him again as he was a creepy man. Who was Philaani Ntuli? Philaani was a biochemist. In 2014, he began dating a beauty pageant queen named Lucky Mthembu. Everything seemed fine at first, but over time, he became controlling, and the situation worsened after they moved in together. The relationship turned toxic, involving emotional, physical, and financial abuse. Eventually, the woman decided to leave him, but leaving proved dangerous as Philaani became violent. She managed to break free and file charges against him. The situation escalated when Philaani started stalking her. After a protection order was issued, he shifted his focus to her family, including setting her mother's car on fire. Shortly afterward, her mother was tragically murdered, and the case remains unsolved. Siam and her mother celebrated New Year's Eve at a popular trance music festival near Durban. After the festivities, Siam returned to work. However, on January 4, 2018, Siam went missing. It was reported that, around 4 in the afternoon, a man arrived at the massage parlor in a black Mercedes. He was carrying an unlicensed firearm and stormed into Siam's room, forcing her into his vehicle. After leaving the massage parlor, the man sped off, losing control of his car, which led to an accident with another vehicle. But he didn't stop to help and continued fleeing. However, the driver of the other car chased him and deliberately bumped into the back of his vehicle, hoping he would stop. But that did not get him to stop, and ultimately the driver lost sight of the Mercedes and gave up. The news of Siam's disappearance sparked a widespread search across the province. The local community was deeply affected, and many volunteers joined in to help find her. Siam's last known sighting was outside the massage parlor, where she was barefoot and wearing a sundress. Siam's family approached the police, believing that she had been abducted by Philaani Ntuli. A private investigator named Brad Nathanson was hired by Siam's father's family, who lived in Australia, to work in parallel with the police. He was known for his expertise in solving complex cases. Siam's disappearance exposed the massage parlor where she and her mother had worked, located in an upscale part of Durban. Following the incident, several personal and intimate photos of Siam and her mother came to light, which caused discomfort for those involved. The police visited various massage parlors in the city as part of their investigation. They found that Siam and her mother had been seeing clients on the day she was abducted. Siam's mother was questioned by authorities. The police got to know that the landlord of the property where the massage parlor operated was unaware of the activities there, saying he only rented the space to a friend and only cared about the rent. The police were doubtful of his story and conducted multiple raids there in search of any evidence that could shed light on the case. A week after Siam's disappearance, a farmer and his grandson discovered a body in a sugarcane field while fishing. They immediately contacted the police, who responded quickly to investigate the scene. The body found in a sugarcane field was confirmed to be Siam Lee's. The farmer who discovered it noticed a burned area on a quiet road. After investigating, was shocked to realize there was a human body. He mentioned that, having served in the military, he had seen many things, but this scene was particularly unsettling. At the crime scene, authorities noted the strong smell of gasoline, suggesting the body had been set on fire. It appeared the perpetrator had chosen the location at night to avoid being seen. Had it not been for the drizzle that night, the fire might have spread further, burning the entire sugarcane field. The body was located in New Hanover, about 100 kilometers from where Siam had last been seen. Investigators revealed that she had been handcuffed and had a blanket over her head. Her face was completely unrecognizable. The cause of death was determined to be severe head injuries, likely caused by a hammer. The autopsy also showed that 90% of her body was burned after her death. While her family recognized her through her nail paint and the personal items found at the scene, authorities conducted a DNA test to confirm her identity, which later proved that it was indeed Siam Lee. The nature of the crime left both her family and the public shocked, and authorities speculated that the person responsible was driven by strong hatred. During the investigation, authorities found that Philaani Ntuli's car had been involved in an accident near the location where Siam Lee was last seen. This accident had been previously reported by another driver who was hit by the car while it was speeding. In a breakthrough, a woman named Jessica Wayers came forward and claimed that 2 years ago she had been abducted by Philaani Ntuli and he had essayed her. She provided an address where the incident took place, which turned out to be Philaani's residence. Further evidence surfaced when police tracked Philaani's vehicle using its GPS system, revealing that he had been in the same area where Siam's body was discovered. Despite the vehicle being registered in someone else's name, witnesses had seen him driving it that day, confirming his involvement. As a result, Philaani became the prime suspect in the case. When investigators searched his home, they found items typically used to enhance intimate relations. Additional information surfaced about Philaani's health, revealing that he had acquired immunodeficiency syndrome and used to intentionally transmit the virus to others. It was revealed that he lured women with promises of job opportunities, only to exploit them. Additionally, he had faced several accusations of fraud, with individuals claiming he tricked them into investing in fake businesses. 2 weeks after the crime, Philaani was arrested. The police began closely monitoring his financial activities and discovered a long list of companies registered under his name, though only 2 were operational. While in custody, Philaani confessed to all of his actions. He explained that he had met Siam months earlier when he lent her 50,000 rand. She had promised to repay the money but failed to do so, which he claimed led to the tragic events. On the day of the incident, Philaani admitted that he had become enraged with Siam and went to her workplace, armed and with handcuffs, in an attempt to get the money she owed him. When she explained that she was unable to pay him, he became more agitated. Philaani then decided to abduct her and planned to ask her family for a ransom. After abducting her, he drove her to his house, which was a 20-minute drive from the massage parlor. While holding her there, he handcuffed her to a stair railing and essayed her multiple times, and she reportedly threatened to go to the authorities no matter what happened. Fearing the consequences, he made a tragic decision. He first tried to suffocate her, but he could not go further with it as she kept thrashing her legs and he could not stand to watch that. After giving up on that approach, he went to the garage and grabbed a hammer. He then covered her head with a blanket to hide her face and struck her head multiple times. After realizing the severity of his actions, Philaani claimed he became frantic and went to a nearby gas station for 25 liters of gasoline. An employee later identified him, noting that he was a regular customer at the location. Approximately 24 hours after the abduction, he took her body to a place called New Hanover, where he left the body in a sugarcane field and set it alight. Philaani showed no emotion during his confession, and his claim of lending money to Siam seemed fabricated, as there was no evidence to support his statement. His lawyer filed for bail, arguing that his arrest was improper, as private detectives hired by the victim's family had participated in the arrest. The court accepted this argument, and Philaani was granted bail to await his trial. However, in May 2019, Philaani appeared at a pretrial hearing looking drastically different, requiring crutches to move. A month later, news broke that he had passed away at the age of 30 due to skin cancer. Many speculated that his death was a strategy to avoid facing trial the next month. The authorities took the claims seriously and conducted an investigation to confirm his death. They obtained his fingerprints from the funeral home and compared them to the police database. Additionally, a court official visually inspected the body. Both the fingerprint comparison and the visual check confirmed that it was indeed Philaani. While the family of Siam felt that he had escaped justice, but they took some comfort in knowing that he could no longer cause harm to anyone else. In November 2020, Jessica Wayers, the informant who had assisted the police in their investigation, was found dead on a sports field with noticeable injuries to her hands and neck. At 23 years old, Jessica had been last seen leaving her apartment around 5:30 p.m., telling her family she was going to visit a friend, but she never returned home. While it's still uncertain whether Jessica's case is linked to Siam Lee's crime, her case remains unsolved to this day. Philaani's obsessive actions led to the heartbreaking murder of Siam Lee, a young woman whose life was tragically taken too soon. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel for more true crime content. See you next time.